I want to talk about Rick Solizzo because Crowd Goes Wild, man, I think you joined in 2009. I watched it all the time. Those 3 years, 2009, 10, 11, I think. Like, it was such a good show. It still is now, but that cast of characters you had then was sort of iconic. But Rick in particular, what was your relationship with him? How did he get in contact with you, and what were your first impressions?
He he got in contact with me when I was living down in Wanaka. I think he wanted a couple of snowboarding stories. He'd seen me on Dancing with the Stars. He'd seen me on Treasure Island, which actually I think helped me here in the New Zealand media, um, and just wanted me to do a couple of casual stories for Crowd Goes Wild. And then when I came back to live in Auckland, I got in touch with him and I basically said, "Give me a job." And Rick being Rick said, "Okay, you start at 10 o'clock on Monday.
Yeah.
I'll see you at my desk, in my office." So he's just a legend. I would see him not like a dad because he's more of that, that uncle who just really looks out for you. You can have fun with him. He lets you be who you are, but he's gonna have your back no matter what. He's so loyal. He used to come in and sort of throw his weight around the office, and people would get a bit annoyed. But I just thought he can. This is his show. He can do whatever he likes. Um, I I am thankful for him for taking me through that. When I was at Crowd, it was 8 years. I went downhill quite fast with my drinking whilst I was there. And then I gave up when I was still there. And he supported me through all of that too. So, yeah, he's got a special place in my heart, old Rick Solizzo.
He's an amazing guy. He's done so much for New Zealand entertainment.
He's the one because we did a pod and he was over in the States and he kind of got cut short a little bit. He's the one guy that I'd love to do a second recording with in studio because I feel like we only scratched the surface. There's so much to talk about with Rick.
He had so many stories because he was at TVNZ, I think, when he first left broadcasting school.
Yeah.
And then, he was with the All Blacks. He's got so many good stories. And he was with the All Blacks when they were fun. They used to go out and have a lot of fun. And so there's some stories there. Yeah.
And you kind of, I'm not sure if the timeline's right, but you kind of got thrown in the deep end. Like you were presenting, it seemed like you were presenting with Mulligan or McOnie or Richardson quite early on in your stint. And from research, it surprised me that you weren't actually that into sport. Is that accurate? That you were kind of had the sport hosting job, but you didn't really...
We're not meant to talk about that.
That was back then.
I love sport. I love
it.
I love it now.
Oh, I'm a sport nerd. No, yeah. And that was the whole point, is I knew alternative sports. So I was into snowboarding and skateboarding and surfing and motorsport and, things that I thought were fun, but not rugby. We used to call rugby egg ball. And I think I would watch a game, but, I'd drink whilst everyone was watching the game. But Rick used that as a strength. So he thought that I could go out and, ask the questions that other people might be too embarrassed to ask or just wouldn't think of asking because they're too in it. And I got some great interviews. I remember one of my first interview was when Simon Mannering first became captain of the Warriors, and we were doing a big stand-up. And I think I asked him, what did his mum think? And he just, got some tears in his eyes and got a really honest, sort of authentic answer. So I could ask those stupid questions and get some humanity from some of these sports players. Yeah.
You definitely had that appeal, and very different, but kind of similar to Lee Hart in Sports Cafe. It's like he's appealing to the people that aren't really into sport. They're just there for something different or irreverent or
I think everybody's into sport. They're into the fun of it. They're into the fandom of it. They're into the fact that you can sort of get your tribe. But people don't really want to break down, the set plays or stats so much, I mean, sport's fun. And I think everyone in New Zealand loves sport of some kind. So we could just sort of get that everyday New Zealander to come along as well. Rick would also set me up. The very first cold call I had to do was to Buck Shelford.
Oh.
He gave me his number and said, call him. And we're doing a story on coloured boots. And I want you to ask him, what he thinks of these flash new coloured boots. Yeah. So I had to ring up Buck.
You knew who Buck Shelford was?
I knew who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, because my dad my dad loved sport,
Yeah.
you know, everyone's dad loves sport. So he was kind of my era when I was a kid, still watching it with Dad. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Hi,
his
Buck, the hardest man in rugby. What do you think about pink shoes?
Who is this?
Pretty much. But he was good. I think Rick may have given him a heads up
Yeah.
because he said yes, and then we went and did an interview with him.
So while your castmates have been quite closed from CGW, we had an episode with Josh Kronfeld, and he told a ripping yarn, excuse the pun, about when he tore his scrotum on a shoot. Do you have any, obviously not scrotum ripping tales to tell, but any like from your time in the field or any great yarns from that CGW 8 years?
Oh, man. I mean, we had so much fun. Most of the fun was in the office, actually, talking about the stories. But I remember making Josh look quite stupid on one of those electric surfboard things in a lake because he was a surfer.
Yeah.
You know, I think he fancied himself, but he was a big guy. So, yeah, I made him look silly because I could do it and he couldn't.
That group of characters you had there, Rick said like how incredibly talented they were, and I sort of want to talk about the dynamic. Like Mark Richardson and Andrew Mulligan and James McOnie and yourself, like have all gone on to have such great career, and I mean some of them were already in the middle of great careers. But did you realize like what you had there at the time?
I did. I loved it. I definitely call it the glory years. Such a cool team, and they were all such individuals. Nobody was trying to be anybody else. Nobody was trying to outdo anybody else. They were all just who they were. And their characters were the characters that you see on the telly. So Mark would come in. He wouldn't even really say hi to anybody, you know, and he'd walk down and sit in his corner and put his headphones on. And you're like, hey, Mark. And he's like, okay. And then you'd be having your conversations and having a laugh, and then all of a sudden you'd hear some really funny but, you know, quite cutting remark come out of the corner and be like, oh, Mark is listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was there, but he wasn't really there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I respect him. He's actually got a huge heart. Old Mark Richardson.
Yeah, we did a pod
yeah.
with him,
Yeah.
and same, like came away really liking him. Like he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He just is his own man, but like such a likable guy when you actually sit down and talk.
It's one of our most popular episodes ever, I think,
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, people love Mark.
He is great. And I still carry this as a lesson from him. He wrote that book, Thinking Negatively,
Yeah.
which people just thought was, you know, him having a laugh at the time, but it's so true. When I took that and I started not expecting much from people, and then when they do, you know, come to you with, you know, they sort of exceed your expectations, you're so happy and joyous with what they've given you. And so it really helps to make you a happier person if you don't expect anything.
Did you bring that mindset into this episode?
No. I mean, it's harder to live than do, you know.
And then Mulls is just the consummate professional, sort of holding the place together. And then you've got McOnie, who is just absolutely brilliant. Like
He actually
He-
is a genius.
he emceed or was keynote at one of these Boys High things and did like a Q&A and a speech. And I was like, mate, I don't know if there's anyone better at that sort of thing. Like he's got such genius there, right?
He is a genius. And what people don't realize about McOnie is he puts a lot of effort into his work. So it looks like it's just off the cuff and that, you know, he's just turning up and having a laugh. But he really puts a lot of thought into his jokes, into his stories. I mean, if there was any great story or a song written, you know, for Wales, say, he'd be behind it because he's definitely a comic genius. I mean, he is also who you see on air, so it's hard for him to focus and get that drive forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was texting him last night. We still like to text each other and have a gas bag.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's a shame you didn't come to the party with any Hayley Holt info either.
I know, honestly. He would have had some good stuff.
He did.
I think maybe that's why they did it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, and that's
Hey.
that's a testament to you as well, I guess, for their care, their duty of care for you as a person. That they're like, actually,
We know too much.
Yeah, we'll keep
Yeah.
we'll keep these ones.
I know.
If she wants to share, she can, but it's not our story to tell.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Christmas parties were always legendary, and it was always like you get to see Hayley at her best.
Right.
And if anyone new joined the team, it was always about like, oh my God, we've got a Christmas party coming up. And so actually they were quite disappointed when I gave up drinking just purely for the Christmas party shenanigans. But I remember one of them, Andrew Mulligan, was destroyed. I mean, he tried to keep up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, nice.
And he ended up sleeping on a beanbag in my flat. I was living in a flat with some other girls. I think he woke up the next morning, went home and got about like $100 worth of McDonald's on the way home. And yeah, he always would warn people, don't try and drink with Hayley.